Welcome to the Aprés Business Podcast, the show that celebrates the grit, grind, and passion it takes to build extraordinary outdoor brands. Your host, Rebecca Babbix, brings you straight into the stories of marketers and industry insiders who are shaping the outdoor world. Let's jump into today's episode.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Aprés Business Podcast. I am so excited for today's episode. So today we have Madison Hilson and Tina Thomson from Seniq. Welcome to the show, ladies. How's your day going?
Hi, we're so excited to be here. Our day is going good. We've had a busy week, so we're happy to have a light break in the week and have fun talking with you.
Yeah. So you guys, between the two of you, have quite the amazing background, from Victoria's Secret to Outdoor Voices to working together at Backcountry. Now you're building your own thing. How did all of these experiences lead up to this moment?
Yeah, I feel like each kind of career experience I had taught me something that I'm now using as we build Seniq together. So my first taste of retail was working in stores as a sales lead, where I had to become intimately familiar with the customer and how to sell to them, how merchandising impacts selling behavior, all that sort of thing. And then my first job was with Tina at Victoria's Secret, and we had our first taste of the activewear space, and we just fell in love with that there. What was so cool about that experience is we were building a new category for Victoria's Secret. So it was kind of like building a mini brand, but with all the resources of a giant corporate retailer. So it was a little taste of mini entrepreneurship in that sense. And then, at Backcountry, really got to combine my personal passion of the outdoors with my career, which was merchandising and buying. So it was awesome to be able to experience that and see so many different brands and ways people are operating in the outdoor space, and then in turn where all of the gaps specifically for women in the market were.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing I would mention too, is like we were trained as merchants to really think about female problems and solving them with innovation, because that's like the bread and butter of what Victoria's Secret does, right? And just through a different avenue of intimates. But I think we grew up in this like really female empowered space, whether it was through the culture of the company or it was through how we developed product. And it was so interesting coming to the outdoor world after that experience and seeing how much more opportunity there is to actually take that lens and that strategy of product development and innovation in the outdoor category. So there's so much opportunity just put women's problems at the forefront of the innovation table and really try to bring and develop new fresh solutions. So I think that was like, for me, a form, like if we wouldn't have had that Victoria's Secret experience, Maddie, I feel like, I don't know, Seniq might have not been a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, everything at Victoria's Secret was around solving a problem and having every product have its own purpose. And that was definitely the lens we had when we started building out the product line at Seniq.
When you guys work together at Backcountry and work for, one of the biggest online retailers in outdoors, did you see like any other brands being intentional about solving outdoor women's products, like at all? A few, okay, but not many.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it just wasn't happening on the same scale that men's product solutions were happening. And then the other thing was, like, we ourselves working in the industry, working for these multiple different types of retailers, we were also trying and pushing strategies of building for women and solving problems within those brands. But I just think women have been deprioritizing the category for so long. There's so much more to do, and there's a lot of time to be like made up for. There's not as many aesthetic points of view as there should be, and there is not enough innovation yet. So there's a lot more work to do. It hasn't been a priority in the industry for as long as the men's categories have been. So there's so much room to just build so much more women's product.
And I think
But yeah,
specifically with us, the biggest gap we were noticing is like, for sure, there were brands out there building women's assortments, and there were even some amazing new women's brands coming out, and we were super excited about those. But the big gap that we had was balancing product with both trend and function and not kind of leaning one way or the other. We couldn't really find anything that was super trend inspired or taking notes from the runway that also was highly technical. So that was really the one of the product gaps that we felt we needed to solve for our customer.
And I love that because one of my next question is, I think a lot of outdoor brands speak so much about performance, and then you guys on the other side are trying to do trend, but how do you avoid just becoming athleisure?
Especially as a new brand, I think building credibility in the high output category is the one of the hardest things to do. And for me, it really starts with innovation in the product first. Making sure materials are as performative as possible. The construction is built so that anyone on the mountain can use the product and have a great experience and reach their goals and new heights. So that's my quick short answer is like having really innovative and intentional product that can be used, sure, by a low output outdoor enthusiast or, yeah, someone up on Everest.
I want to unpack this though for a little bit because now I'm like fascinated
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah.
So when you guys are thinking about a problem that a woman has and then how to solve it, can you walk me through a few of your and the audience too, so they can understand your products a little bit more?
Yeah.
Walk us through like a use case, like a problem, a use case, the product, through a few of the products that you guys have right now.
Yeah. I'll jump in. The first one that comes to mind, there's like, so long story short, every product that we put on the market is solving some sort of problem. But one of my favorite ones, and there's like backstory to this that I'll tell you offline. But one of my like pet peeves as a snowboarder is that my chest sweats, like I get boob sweat right in between my chest. And I think having I love to wear a bib, so I'm always having so many layers of fabric over my chest that are not always very breathable. And I think, yeah, solving this boob sweat problem in the ski space is just not something that a lot of brands have focused on. I've yet to find a bib or some sort of innovation that is breathable or like targeted breathability. And so we have daily development conversations around just problems that we experience in our own lives, any problems that we're getting call outs from our community or customers that they need solutions to. And we work with our design team, which is small but mighty, to come up with some different options and solutions. And our Slopestar ski bib is one of the first bibs on the market that is not a fully membrane 3-layer bib from chest to ankle. We actually chose this really beautiful nylon dobby fabric that starts at your waist and fills the full apron of the bib, and it has 4-way stretch. It's really breathable, and it's also quite a compressive fabric that almost functions on body as if like it almost feels like a sports bra. It like holds you in a similar way that you feel comfortable and you're not going to be like flying around, but it also is breathable at the same time, which is just really comforting to have on mountain. So that's one of my favorites. It's kind of like a niche part of a garment. It's not like the whole garment is the innovation of that, but yeah, we try to build these sneaky solutions into every garment that we put out on the market because have no interest in putting out product just for product's sake or just to have an outfit completer. I think for us, we're really trying to build pieces that, yeah, feel fresh, solve problems, and hopefully change the experience of our community's outdoor adventure.
Yeah, another one that I love is our base layers, our wool sculpt. So the fabric we chose is actually compressive and contouring. So my biggest pet peeve with base layers is that you literally look like you're wearing a saggy diaper most of the time. I hate it. They're so unattractive. And not only with the fabric of ours being contouring, but just the style lines that we chose. It's so flattering and feminine on the female form. And you can honestly wear them as standalone pieces. They're that, trend inspired, but still so functional.
The product and the innovation I think that has made Seniq most famous so far is the Trail Mix cargo pant, the hiking pant. And the concept behind that pant was to really develop a hiking pant that not only fit your waist, but also fit your butt. Because that, as women, is one of the hardest pants to find, or that's the hardest part about buying pants in general, is finding something that fits those two parts of your body. So our designer was actually sourcing vintage military garments and found this old Swedish way to construct a waistband that's called a gurka, and it's this like really seamless construction that has a double waist adjuster, so you can kind of custom tailor the fit around your waist measurement, which is just, it's the best. If you haven't tried it yet, we have to get you a pair. But
Yes, I love it.
that's
No,
another.
I was gonna say like the bib resonated so much with me because I am one of my only friends who I'm like anti-bib for the exact reason that you said. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
need something that's gonna just be super hot, like and crunchy on the top part of my body. I'll just use a ski pant anyway. So that really resonated with me. So that's amazing. I'm so in awe of you guys. Like I just feel like you're built for this and like you're full charge ahead. You had this vision, you have the background for it. And also you guys have each other. Like you've worked together for so long. As we've talked about like in previous jobs. And so I'm curious about like that relationship. You know, you guys have worked together before, so it was already a proving ground that you could work together. But yeah, like I think that that's like the dream for a lot of founders is to find the yin to their yang.
Yeah, I think it's so, I mean, it's almost, this might be controversial. It's almost more important than like picking a husband or a wife. Like,
Yes.
you spend like
Yes.
majority of your day with this person. You're like putting your whole life almost in their hands. And it's just like the ultimate form of trust and, confidence in someone. And we were super lucky to be able to be friends first and then also have experiences working together. And we always think of each other as two halves to one brain. So we really do have complementary skills, which is also another reason I think we work so well together and have been able to do what we've been doing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I wouldn't have lasted a day without Maddie. It is so incredibly hard. Like the importance of a co-founder is so underrated. And I know there are a lot of people who build businesses by themselves, and that is like such, I can't even begin to understand that. That is like wild to me, and whoever can do that is like just a total superhero. But it's a secret sauce for Seniq for sure.
Yeah.
We're tight, and yeah, we know each other, we get each other. It doesn't mean like we don't struggle or there aren't hard moments, like, oh my gosh, but it just makes them so much easier to get through, and it is so important.
Yeah, and
We're
I think
lucky.
like so lucky. And the emotional part of starting a business is almost just as hard as any like business issues that may come up because it's so mentally taxing. We talk about before we launched, you literally have to get out of bed and hype yourself up to keep doing what you're doing. And we still do, but especially
Yeah.
that period. And it's really nice to have someone who understands kind of what you're going through mentally and emotionally and have that built-in support who understands.
Yeah.
I love it. Great lead into the next question. So, a lot of outdoor brands start with performance story, and at the center of what you guys are talking about is mental health and community. And you guys started that and started talking about that right away as like some of the fabric and DNA for the brand. And I think that's so fascinating. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we each have our own kind of like unique experiences with mental health and um Tina's for sure, which she can share more about, it like led into the name of the brand. But for me personally, I went through in like middle school and high school, I had about four concussions. And the last one was quite serious where I couldn't go to school. I was like being homeschooled for a year and a half and really couldn't do much. I couldn't see friends, couldn't watch TV. Was pretty much just like able to sit outside and go for short walks. So that kind of became my rehab center. Was just trying to be outside in like any capacity that I could because indoors was so depressing. And I swear that's kind of like what got me through like that experience. And I grew up skiing and hiking and whatnot, but that just really solidified kind of the mental health benefits of getting outside, even if it's just to sit, not even to move.
Yeah. And to connecting it to like the moments, or like the reason we really truly decided to have that be our brand mission and underlying like really purpose to exist. We had both moved to backcountry in the thick of COVID, really 2021 to 2022. And at that time, it was like the world had been closed for a year. And then it felt like once the world opened up, everything fast forwarded. And we were like trying to make up for lost time. And you were like working really hard and playing really hard. And everyone burnt out super quick, it felt like. So our group of girlfriends that we had formed in backcountry, or like when we moved to backcountry, working there and living in Utah, we realized that we were getting outdoors more for our minds than our physical health. And we were like literally speaking to our hikes as if they were like therapy hikes. And we would actually like swap insights from therapy and really, use that activity to rehab and recharge our minds more so than our bodies, which is how we used to use that activity prior. And it didn't feel like there was an outdoor brand speaking to the end use of the outdoors in terms of mental health and how beneficial it is to your mind. And honestly, I think it's much more of a mental health rehab than a physical health rehab. So it just felt like this big, super obvious, really personal opportunity for us to have that be the mission of the brand and empower other women to take a break from the hustle and get outdoors for yourself, and hopefully try to create products that inspire them to do that, and then also create events and activations and experiences for them to do that too.
I
And do you
love
want to
that.
share how we came up with the name?
Yes, I want to hear more about how you came up with the name.
Okay, the name. So you'll probably remember it. I think so. Yeah, it was the snowy, like one of the record highest, snowiest winters of Utah history. And I swear everyone was out on the mountain every day. And I was recovering from my first ACL repair. And so I was stuck inside on the couch. And I had this couch that I lived right in Holiday and like right on this main street that looked right up to the Wasatch. And it was like a really dark day for me. And I had this like out of body moment where like I was talking to myself saying like, okay, you can either decide to like sit here and feel bad for yourself, or you can take the scenic route through this experience, because like when in the rest of your life are you probably going to be able to like be this slow, be this intentional, take this much time to rest and try to just like soak up the beauty of this moment. And the minute that like I had visualized that word scenic route, I ended up texting Maddie, because by this point we were ideating on the brand and trying to come up with a name. And I was like, oh my God, what if the name of the brand is Scenic Route? And Maddie was like, what if it's just Scenic? And it was like, done. That was it, hands down. Like the name of the brand is such an intentional, and like it feels like it connects to the purpose of the brand as well. So it was just like this perfect fit. And we were also like, how has no one thought of this brand name? It seems kind of obvious, like all of the scenic view and scenic route signs in the outdoors. So it felt like we struck gold. And then Maddie did God's work and figured out how to file a trademark application, which was terrifying. And we had to actually commit to buying product that had the name Scenic on it before the trademark was approved. So that was terrifying as well, because it takes about a year to get your trademark approved. And we wanted to launch within a year. So that's the story.
I love it. And this is like totally me, but when I see the name of the brand, something about it reminds me of like sequence with the Q, right?
Yeah.
And then it like for me, I'm like, it's sparkly, but it's like scenic. So anyway, I'm probably not a part of why, but for me, I'm like, like it hits right in the
I
right
love
kind of
that.
way. Yeah.
That's also like very on brand for Scenic too, a little like sequins and sparkle.
Yeah. Like, yeah. So I love like the misspelling of it too. Well, this is a cool one. So next question. Well, oh my gosh, so many questions. Like, do we want to talk about year one versus two, or do we want to talk about wholesale versus retail? I have so many questions. Okay, let's start with year one versus year two. Year one, was it pretty much just like throwing spaghetti at the wall? Compare year one to year two in business and how your roles shifted. shout out to Chris McLeary in one of the first podcast episodes of this, but he says if you're doing a good job as an entrepreneur, you have a new job every year. And that really stuck with me. It's like you're leveling up every year, and like what your job was last year is no longer your job anymore, and now you have this new job. So I'd love to hear more about year one versus year two for you guys.
Gosh, it was so crazy. Like year one post launch, you just don't really know like how to spend your time, to be honest, even though we had all of this like corporate training and we'd worked in big brands, we had never built from the ground up. So it was like, how much time do we spend going to events? How much time do we spend, making content? How much time do we spend on product? And it was really just trying a ton of things and seeing what resonated with our community, what was a good ROI for the business. But it really was kind of throwing a ton of things at the wall and seeing what stuck. And Tina and I both had our hands in pretty much every, classic department that you could have. As we were trying to figure out our like roles and getting more situated. And then year two, I think we've really kind of found our groove and in what areas both she and I want to work on, specifically where we feel like we're adding the most value. I think we have a better kind of formula for how to grow the business, which wholesale, which we'll get into, was a one we found kind of early on in year one that worked for us pretty well. But I think it's just really understanding how to most effectively spend your time and what's going to drive the business in the most effective way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other things I would say too, it really felt like year one was all about proving the concept. Like if there was a theme to like chapter title that part of the book about, it was like prove the concept, which just truly meant like Maddie and I getting a crash course in marketing, which we have no prior training or experience in. So
Which
it
is
was
so
like,
surprising to me because you guys are so natural at it. Like just the way that you, anyway.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just a product of like really believing in what you're doing and like believing in the product and the brand. But yeah, it was really like, okay, we do all of our brand discovery and education through socials. Like, how do we crack that channel and actually target some girls that would find value in this product? And then how do we connect with them offline as well to build these meaningful lifetime value customers? And yeah, it was a crash course in marketing, which is it's scary, like putting yourself out there in this product that like feels like so much of your heart and soul. It's almost like showing your diary to the world and having no idea whether people are going to like it or not. It's terrifying. But yeah, it was a full year of that, it felt like. And then year two, I mean, there was something so beautiful about getting all of the feedback on the product, which was way more positive than negative. We learned a lot and we definitely made some tweaks in the garments. But overall, the feedback was super positive, which is why we were able to capture some of those really great retail partnerships in year two. But yeah, now year two is like, I feel like it is so much more of a strategic year. Now, like, I think we feel confident about who our customer is. And now it's like just trying to broaden, cast our net wider, and also just keep building and keep doing what's working. So it feels like totally different
Yeah,
chapters.
it's completely different years. Like even just mentally, I'm like trying to remember what we did in year one. I don't even know because we did so many like crazy
Yeah.
trips and pop-ups and events and like we look back at our old content we made and it's so horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Like hand
Well,
shipped 1,800 orders out of
Yeah.
our parents' basement. And now it's like, it's just a completely different world. It's like we were able to outsource that part of the process, and we have
and
so many more initiatives.
you guys are crushing it. So I don't know, like I have to add some context here because those who are listening, like Seniq can't keep their product in stock. They're continually selling out. So now like their challenge of like, does this product have good product market fit is now oh my gosh, how do we actually, forecast inventory and understand the demand as we scale up, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's a big leap to, I mean, it's an incredible accomplishment in just 2 years.
Yeah, it's an exciting challenge. I think as I tend to lean more on the financial operational side of the business. I tend to lean more conservative generally. So I have been like under pitching our our inventory buys, and we end up selling out either to wholesale or D2C within like weeks, and we were thinking it would be months. And it's been a fun experience trying to like learn off of only a few months of sales what we actually need for inventory, but it's a good problem to have for sure.
I think you should give yourself more credit than that though, because they're not under pitched buys. Like we're making some like serious growth and bets in the buys. It's just
It
so
is funny.
impossible to predict the level of demand coming in.
Yeah. We
It's
write these
crazy.
buys and we have like heart attacks. We're like, okay, guess we're passing this. Like this seems insane. And then we end up selling it out right away.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Because
So,
our first order ever was 2,000 units, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was amazing.
So that was the baseline that we were starting off of. And it's just like double, triple, like we just, yeah, can't keep up with everyone. So we're learning that part of it.
Well, and I mean, I don't know how much you guys would give credit to this, but I think you have a really strong wholesale business, even though you've only been in business for 2 years. And so a lot of brands have to kind of prove themselves on the D2C side, have to get, like you guys said, product market fit, and just make sure that there's people out here who are buying it before you go to the REIs and Backcountries and Evos of the world. But you guys pretty much secured those partnerships almost immediately.
Yeah, and I think I would attribute it to not only great product, but kind of two other things as well. Like one, just the modern outdoors woman has not really been spoken to, and she's been craving newness and product that she actually wants to wear. So part of Scenic is like right place, right time. We're kind of capturing this amazing trend that's happening in the outdoor space organically. And then two, I think, Tina's done such an amazing job with marketing that we were already kind of recognized by buyers at these major retailers. They'd seen us on Instagram. They liked the kind of content that we were creating, and they felt like it was filling a gap within their customer base as well. So I definitely think, Tina's been crushing it with the marketing, and that was a big win for us as well as the, overall outdoor space trend.
Yeah. I also think an element of it, transparently, is like our drive and stubbornness and like not taking no for an answer. Like Maddie and I, because we had experience at Backcountry, we saw the power of wholesale, and we really believe in that part of a business and think it is a meaningful way to architect your just like revenue strategy. So it was always a strategy of ours to build our wholesale business early and build it quick and build it as big as we possibly can. And some of those retailers that we launched with, I mean, we were reaching out to them literally the first week we launched the brand when we had 800 followers and no feedback on the product, like total delulu. And we just, yeah, stayed persistent, and we're going to make it happen because we believed in this product so much. We knew the moment these buyers got the product on their body, like it'd be game over. It sells itself, really. So despite all the strategy, it also was just, we don't take no for an answer easily, It's like such an important trait, I feel like, for a founder, is when you have a gut feeling, you just have to follow it and go for it and like trudge through the mud, and eventually things will typically work out.
Yeah, I think like what you said too in there was super important. Like once buyers got their hands on the product, it was like, okay, go time. And it was just getting the product in their hands. So when you have a great product, it really does make such an impact and kind of pave the path for you in a way.
Yeah, because we are not salespeople by any means like that. Although it looks like we have some like secrets to the wholesale world, like we really don't. The product is really what sells itself.